On August 16, 1977, the most famous entertainer on the planet was found unconscious on the bathroom floor of his Graceland mansion. Just hours later, the world received shocking news. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was dead. He was only 42 years old. Fans across America were stunned. How could a man who had everything, fame, wealth, millions of fans, die so suddenly? What really happened during the final years of Elvis Presley? To understand the tragic end of the king, we have to go back to the beginning. Elvis Aaron Presley was born on January 8, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi. His family was poor, very poor. They lived in a small two-room house built by his father. Money was scarce, but music was everywhere. Elvis grew up surrounded by gospel songs in church and the powerful sounds of the American South. Blues, country, gospel. These sounds would shape the music that later changed the world. In 1948, the Presley family moved to Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis was alive with music. Here, Elvis listened to rhythm and blues artists and blended those sounds with country music. No one knew it yet. But something revolutionary was about to happen. In 1954, Elvis walked into Sun Records in Memphis. At first, he was just another young man hoping to record a song. But when he began singing "That's All Right," everything changed. The sound was electric. It was raw, energetic, and completely different from anything on the radio. By 1956, Elvis Presley had become a national sensation. Songs like Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, and Don't Be Cruel dominated the charts. Teenagers loved him. Parents were horrified. His energetic dance moves shocked audiences across America. Some television networks even refused to show his dancing. On certain broadcasts, cameras filmed Elvis only from the waist up. But the controversy only made him more popular. Elvis Presley was not just a singer. He was a cultural revolution. At the height of his fame in 1958, something unexpected happened. Elvis Presley was drafted into the United States Army. Many believed his career would collapse during his military service. But the opposite happened. Serving in Germany actually made Elvis even more respected by the public. When he returned to America in 1960, he was still the king. But the world of music was changing. During the 1960s, Elvis focused heavily on Hollywood. He starred in 31 films. Many of them were commercially successful. But critics often dismissed them as predictable and repetitive. At the same time, a new wave of music was rising. Bands like the Beatles were transforming popular culture. For the first time in his career, Elvis was no longer at the center of youth culture. Privately, the pressure of maintaining his fame was growing. But in 1968, everything changed once again. That year, Elvis appeared in what became known as the '68 Comeback Special, dressed in black leather, performing live with raw energy. Elvis reminded the world exactly who he was. The performance was electric. Fans and critics alike were amazed. The king had returned. But behind the scenes, a darker chapter of Elvis's life was beginning. In 1969, Elvis began performing in Las Vegas. At first, the shows were spectacular. The crowds were huge. The performances were legendary. But the schedule soon became relentless. Night after night, show after show. The pressure was enormous. During this period, Elvis began suffering from severe insomnia. Doctors prescribed medications to help him sleep and manage his exhausting schedule. Over time, those prescriptions increased. Sedatives, painkillers, stimulants. What began as medical treatment slowly became dependence. By the early 1970s, Elvis's health had begun to decline. His weight fluctuated dramatically. He suffered from high blood pressure and digestive problems. Despite these struggles, Elvis continued touring heavily. In 1973, his marriage to Priscilla Presley ended in divorce. Friends and associates noticed that Elvis was becoming increasingly isolated. He spent most of his time inside Graceland, often awake all night, sleeping during the day. Despite being surrounded by his loyal entourage, known as the Memphis Mafia, Elvis seemed more alone than ever. Still, the concerts continued. Fans continued filling arenas across the country. Even as his health declined, the legend of Elvis Presley remained powerful. In 1977 alone, Elvis performed more than 50 concerts. Some shows were brilliant, but others revealed a man clearly struggling with exhaustion. His movements were slower, his speech sometimes slurred. The king of rock and roll was fading. And then came the day that changed everything. On the morning of August 16, 1977, Elvis Presley was at Graceland preparing for another tour. Later that day, he was found unresponsive in his bathroom. He was rushed to Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. Doctors attempted to revive him, but it was too late. At 3:30 p.m., Elvis Presley was officially pronounced dead. The official cause of death was listed as cardiac arrhythmia. Later toxicology reports revealed multiple prescription drugs in his system. News of his death spread rapidly around the world. Fans gathered outside Graceland in disbelief. More than 100,000 people came to pay their respects. The king of rock and roll was gone. Yet even in death, Elvis Presley's legend only grew stronger. Graceland became one of the most visited homes in the United States. Millions of fans continue to visit every year. His music still sells across the world. Elvis Presley remains one of the best-selling solo artists in history. But his story also serves as a powerful reminder. Behind the fame, the wealth, and the roaring crowds, there was a man struggling with pressures few could understand. The world saw a king. But beneath the crown, Elvis Presley was human. And perhaps that is the greatest tragedy of all.